Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Hey, X, I haven't posted on here before, but I've been lurking here for ages. Anyways, figured I'd contribute to Spooky Month by sharing the various cryptid encounters I've had living on my farm in the middle of Bumfuck, Southern Africa. Don't really know where to start, so I'll give you a list of some of the creatures I encountered, and let you choose which ones you want to hear about. Pick related is a shitty diagram of the layout of my old farm. 1. Called him the Lurker. Approximately 6 feet tall gray, naked humanoid. You ever seen that picture of the rake? That's pretty much it. Located usually in the East Forest, looking in at my house, creeping around in bushes. Nasty fucker, pretty sure it's responsible for killing a bunch of my chickens. Never attacked people on my farm, runs away screaming like a pig if you shoot at it. Genuinely terrified the fuck out of me on multiple occasions, comes out of nowhere, especially late afternoon and night. 2. The Gremlins. 1 to 2 feet tall bipeds, with jet black fur. Bright green eyes. Best description I can give is cat-monkey hybrid. Located in the West Forest, usually saw them near my cabin. Ecologist buddy saw some with me one day, says they're probably just some rare offshoot species of monkey. Curious little critters, usually never caused me much trouble, but made me shit major bricks on one occasion. Pretty intelligent, even for monkeys, seeing them hold sharp sticks like weapons. 3. The Tree Man. This one was weird, I only ever saw it twice that I can remember, but I dreamt about it multiple times after first encounter. Pagan witch friend says it's a fey spirit. Don't really believe it, but maybe you do. Pretty damn tall, like 9 or 10 feet. Vaguely human-shaped tree, never saw him move, but would appear in a place I knew there never was a tree. Only to fucking disappear when I look back.
Tell us more about the Lurker and the Tree Man. Sounds hella creepy. Also, is it your opinion that these creatures may be supernatural?
I'll start with the Lurker. There have been a lot of posts here in the past about creatures that match its description, so it might be a similar entity. Anyways, I'll green text the spookiest encounter as best I can. Be me, 4 years ago, so about 18. Chilling in my room late at night, playing games with some friends. The internet was slow as all hell, but it worked. My bedroom windows directly face the East Forest. Got them cracked open because it's hot as fuck. Take headphones off, and light up a cigarette, hear something move outside. There's lots of deer and shit that live in the area, so I kinda ignore it. A few minutes later, I hear another noise, something tap once on my window, pretty loud. See, initially I don't care, because I have a Great Dane that would get up on its hind quarters, and lean on my window with its front paws. Usually because she wanted to sleep inside. Moment of realization smacks me like a train. She had died very suddenly a week or 2 prior, hadn't completely set in that she was gone. What the fuck was leaning on my window? Spotlight outside casting a shadow on the curtains of somebody just standing there. Holy shit, what the fuck? JPEG. Think someone is breaking in, shotgun is upstairs. Fucking bolt over to my cupboard and grab paintball gun. As I slam the cupboard doors open, I can hear rustling outside. Rip the curtains open and push the window, paintball gun ready. Nothing close to my window anymore, but scanning the tree line I fucking see it. Peeking out from behind a tree, occasionally ducking back, and then peeking out again. Pick related is pretty much what it looks like. Heart pounding, I empty out the fucking paintball gun. I don't even think I hit it, but the noise definitely scared it away. As it's running away, it starts shrieking, kind of like a distressed pig would, but raspier. I assume since my big ass dog wasn't in the yard anymore, this thing got the balls to come closer to the house. The Tree Man is a bit more of a complicated story. I'll try to fit it in one post. Be a boring ass Sunday, doing nothing. Decided I'll take a walk to the cabin and chill there for the day. Pack a bag, air rifle, water, ciggies, power bank for phone, can of Monster, and shitty Bluetooth speaker. Gonna have a good day. Walk to cabin takes 15 to 20 minutes, if you walk fast. Set up at cabin, put bag in shade, start bumping jams on the speaker, shooting at bottles and shit with a pellet gun. Do this for like 4 hours, lose track of time. At some point it gets really fucking hot, even for that time of year. Sweating bullets, sit down in the shade, crack open Monster, light ciggy, hell yeah. As I'm going about my business, something suddenly grabs my attention. North of the cabin, still in the clearing, there's a tree with 2 trunks that join into one higher up. That wasn't there before. It's literally like 15 feet away from me. Look higher up, 2 branches on either side, like arms. Arm branches are slightly outspread, like it was about to embrace something. The more I look, the more this fucking thing looks human. The branches that make up its legs, arms, and torso actually have definition. This tree thing is built like a really tall, skinny human. Reckon it must be about 10 feet tall. Realize my ears were ringing. I think they had been the whole time I was looking at the thing. The thing that made my blood go cold were the 2 white eyes in this thing's head. Just staring at me, unblinking. Feels like I've been staring at this thing for hours when I eventually snap out of it. My eyes hurt, I blink hard a few times and rub my eyes. When my eyes eventually refocus, I look back at the spot where it was standing. It's fucking gone. For the next few weeks I keep dreaming about this thing. The dreams are always me standing in a clearing, and this scary fucking tree just staring at me, occasionally getting closer until I shit bricks and wake up. And to answer your last question, I really don't know if it's supernatural. I used to be a hardcore skeptic before I moved on to the farm. My parents were too. But when your atheist dad starts carrying the shotgun around if he was outside at night, in case he needs to shoot a lurker, you begin to open up to the possibility of the supernatural. Still, my skeptic brain kicks in every now and then. I think about the possibility that the lurker is just a feral human, and that perhaps the gremlins really were just monkeys that hadn't been documented yet. We discover new species of animals so often, it seems possible. The only thing I trip up on, when trying to be skeptical, is the fucking tree man. I know what I saw, and that MFER doesn't like me much. Pagan friend heard my description of it and was convinced I encountered some kind of fae or forest spirit. She tried to convince me it was mad at us for cutting down the trees, and that the land must have been sacred. It did get me thinking. A few months before I first encountered the tree man, we were burning fire breaks, and I accidentally let the fire break catch a huge drove of dead grass. Dumbest mistake I ever made. I'd say that 70% of the West Forest was burnt down in that fire. It took 2 days and all of our neighbors helped to stop that damn fire. Something that makes me deeply sad, whenever I think about it, is that I'm pretty sure the fire burned straight through the gremlins' habitat. I never saw them again. Sure, they spooked me once or twice, but overall they seemed harmless. I really hope they just moved. But yeah, maybe Tree Man is the angry spirit of the forest. It would make sense if Pagan Friend is right. Pick related, not mine, but an accurate representation.
Got any more stories about the gremlins? Also, you said, some of the creatures. Were there any others?
Well yeah, like I said, the gremlins were pretty chill, but I got 2 stories about them to share. The second one's a bit more interesting, but I'll give them to you in chronological order. Be chilling at the cabin, like a year before the Tree Man incident. Doing the usual, shooting targets, consuming disgusting amounts of nicotine and caffeine, but no tunes today. Out of nowhere, rustling from the bushes all around, and one by one, no less than a dozen of these little dudes appear from the forest. Shiny black fur, monkey-like bodies but with pointy ears like a cat, and shiny green eyes. Some holding sharp sticks, and I think one just had a rock. My first reaction was that they were pretty cute. It took me a second to realize that I've never seen these fuckers before on any farm, nature reserve, or animal channel. Holy shit. JPEG. The biggest in the group takes a step or two closer to me. Rears up and bares his chest. For some fucking reason, I shout at it, doing my best impression of the baboons that are native to this area. Probably sounded so fucking stupid. Big guy bares his fangs in retaliation, and makes some sort of hissing noise. Feel like he's wanting to attack me, so I load a pellet into my air rifle, and shoot at him. The second I pull the trigger, I realize what a dumb fucking idea that was, because they could run up and attack me much faster than I could reload. Anyways, I completely fucking miss, and they all scatter back into the woods. Second gremlin encounter. Be holidays, so eco-friend and pagan friend are both staying at the house for a few days. Eco-friend wants to go in the woods after hearing about my first gremlin encounter. Pagan friend would rather stay in and smoke weed. Don't like weed, so fuck it. Eco-friend and I set off for the cabin and from there go deeper into the woods. He takes my dad's binoculars off the shelf and shoves them in my bag. Seems like overkill, but a good idea I guess. Walk for like 2 hours, being as quiet as possible, so we don't scare the little dudes away. Getting tired, so we sit down on a big ass rock for a break. Rock's elevated just enough that we can see over most of the shrubs and shit. We didn't talk, just sat quietly and caught our breath, zoned out completely, when suddenly I hear Buddy whisper, in the quietest, most still voice I've ever heard. "Anon, pass me the fucking binoculars." Being as quiet as I can, I gently remove them from my satchel and pass them over. He points them at a gap between the tall gum trees, a sort of natural clearing. After looking for a while, he passes them to me. He's visibly shaking. I learn later this was from pure excitement. Sure enough, he had spotted a single one of these little guys, hunched over what looked like a little clay bowl. He was eating out of it. He'd stick his hand in the bowl, shove something in his mouth, look around while he was chewing, and then take another bite. I guess eco-friend couldn't contain his excitement, because when he jumped off of the rock, he stumbled and kinda ate shit. Noise of him falling makes gremlin scatter. Looks like he left his bowl behind. We go investigate the little guy's snack spot. The bowl is super basic, poorly fashioned out of mud. Kinda shat when we saw what he was eating out of the bowl. It was about half full of dead ladybugs. Eco-friend deduced that they must be mainly insectivores, and clearly preferred ladybugs. Well, yeah, there were others, not really cryptids for me, but weird animals nonetheless. There was a large owl that was completely white. Weird because no white owls native to the area. Similarly, often spotted a bushbuck that was also plain white. For me, definitely not supernatural, they were probably just albino. But weird that it happened twice. Also feel like I should mention the owl flew into our glass sliding door at full fucking speed the day my uncle received his terminal cancer diagnosis. Chalked it up to a spoopy coincidence.
Yeah, this is at least pretty entertaining. Requesting either some more detailed versions of stories, other encounters with the tree man, or other stories you may have. Get some sleep, bro, it's important.
Thanks, friend. Well, I only ever saw Tree Man, while awake, once again after the first encounter. But it was probably the worst thing I went through at that farm. Back out at the cabin months after the first encounter. At this stage I'd all but forgotten about the Tree Man. Out at the cabin at night. I hardly ever do this because I don't want to run into lurkers. Don't give a fuck tonight because girlfriend broke up with me and I've been drinking my sorrows away at my favorite spot all day. Brandy and Coca-Cola yummy. While I am drunk and depressed, I do notice that the moon looks fucking amazing tonight. Full moon that night, so it's surprisingly bright for like 8 p.m. Finish the brandy, and stumble over to a tree to take a piss. The second I start pissing, I get fucking pushed over, feels like I got kicked by a horse. On my back, pants around my knees, I'm scrambling backwards trying to see what hit me. Think I'm seeing double because the tree in front of me has 2 trunks. Wait. Fuck. JPEG. Look up, and a tree man is towering over me, blocking the moon. The only light I can see now are those 2 glowing white eyes. One hand outstretched, like he's about to grab my head. Immediately I feel sober, I'm freezing, and my ears are ringing loud as hell. He's really mad, I can feel it in the air. Feels like I'm paralyzed, I'm so focused on his glowing white eyes I can't fucking move. Can't snap out of it like last time, basically stuck in a trance like this, either until he let me go, or I passed out from exhaustion. Woken up by my mother the next day. Getting absolutely shat on for not coming home last night. The fact that I'm pantless, lying next to an empty liquor bottle certainly doesn't help. That day, I suffered the highest fever I ever had. Spent most of the day puking. Eyes were practically swollen shut. Baseball-sized bruises on my chest, back and ass are scratched up pretty bad. That night burned into my brain, dreaming about it for months after. While I never saw him again, I never could shake the feeling that Tree Man was watching me. Literally get intense anxiety, panic attacks if I stay in a woods too long. Feels like he's there, hence me moving to the beach. Things are a lot better now. Been at least a year since I even went to the farm. Willem looks after it now. Pretty sure he's aware of everything, but he's very religious, so I guess he just prays the spookies away. If I ever go back to the farm, pagan friend says I should start burying eggs, milk, and honey in the evening as a gift to the spirits in the forest. Actually considering doing it. While he scares the fuck out of me, I feel like I need to apologize to Tree Man and the Gremlins. Not Lurker, fuck that thing. Guess I should elaborate too on my father's experience with the Lurker. The interior perimeter fence is fully electrified. Little plastic things that fasten the wires to the pole break often, always at night, too. This shorts the circuit out, and makes the fence alarm go off. From our investigations, this almost always happened because something pushed its way between the bottom wire and the ground. Thinking to myself that shriveled up Lurker probably doesn't give 2 shits about a little shock. Anyways, every time this happened, Father and I would have to grab a spare plastic thing, and some tools, and walk the entire perimeter fence to find which one had broken this time. First few times, we went without any weapons or anything. One night, the alarm goes off, I rush to the garage, Father puts on his shoes. We make it about 10 meters out the door when my father stops dead in his fucking tracks. This is a hardened South African farmer. I've never seen this motherfucker scared of anything. Anon, get inside. He spoke so deliberately I didn't even question it. He follows me inside, and emerges from his room a few seconds later with the shotgun. Hardly ever saw that man with a gun, but tonight he was practically a commando. We get back outside and Dad points the gun into the distance. I follow where he's aiming. Sure enough, the fucking Lurker is gawking at us from behind a tree. Even worse, this tree is within the interior perimeter. Dad unloads on the fucking thing. I know nothing about guns, but it's one of those pump actions that load like 8 or 9 rounds. I know at least some of the buckshot connected, because this thing goes screaming back under the fence and into the forest at full speed, leaving a few spots of muddy brown blood. Explained to him that that was the thing outside my window. Says if he ever sees it again, he'll kill it and bury it in the septic tank. Badass.mp4.
Great thread, Farmer Spook. This is the first telling I've seen anywhere of the rake being spotted outside of the US, Russia, and the Middle East. There's enough footage and sightings of these things that it's looking like they are a legit, yet monstrous, humanoid species that lives underground and comes out at night for food. They are fast, much faster than humans, strong, and can climb like monkeys. You are in a unique position to bag one of these fuckers and finally show close-up footage of what these things look like. This is long overdue. How about busting out a hunting rifle and sniping one for us? This is more important than Bigfoot.
Yeah, always found it interesting that there were so many similar sightings. Gun laws in South Africa are much more stringent than America, but if I ever get my hands on a good rifle, Willem and I are going to kill the fucking thing, and X will be the first place to see it. For now, plan is to get as much photographic evidence as I can. Pal of mine has an old DSLR and some SD cards he's willing to sell to me. Spoke to a friend who has motion-activated cameras he used to track boar. When I get a pic of the Lurker rake, I'll post it here under the same name, and I'll post a link to the new thread in this one, so bookmark this if you wanna track it. No idea how long it'll take. By far the most commando thing I've ever done. I haven't seen the gremlins in a very long time, but we'll spend some time in the West Forest, see if I can get some snaps, if any are left. I think getting pics of Tree Man is a lost cause. Seems like it does things of its own accord. I'm gonna signal boost this post later tonight, so more American homies can see it. I wanna hear as many rake, lurker stories as possible. See if anyone's ever made contact. If you're just now seeing this thread, please feel free to share similar stories, or give tips for cryptid photography. This might actually fucking happen, X.
Do you think that OP will deliver? Only time can tell.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentexts will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.
Oh.